Hi, Will.
Hello, Laura.
So I picked up this big jug
Yes.
earlier on because it was in the workshop and it looks quite different to all the other stuff that you've made. And I just wondered if you'd tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, sure. I made this jug quite a long time ago. Actually, it's now in the factory shop and it's been reduced quite a lot. I made a series of these jugs like this. They were called pictures and they were done with stripes of colour. And they were originally inspired when I went to Guatemala with the textiles, with the blankets. And I came back and I made pictures and bowls and vases using this decoration. And this jug appeared out of a box in the loft. It sort of got forgotten about. And here it is sitting in the factory shop now. And that's what sort of happens. You make these things and they are of an era, they're of a time. And they get put in the box because they don't really fit with anything else that you put in the shop. And then you take them out and hopefully someone goes, wow, I love it.
So how long ago did you make it?
Oh, you can ask me that. Well, I first went to Guatemala about 23 years ago. We went there for 3 years, so quite a long time ago. Obviously, I was a lot fitter and stronger because it's quite a large bit of glass.
And how many are left of these?
I don't know.
Oh.
This is the only one I think I've got. I have one at home. I took home, I think. I might not have. So this might be the last jug that's here, I guess.
And people can buy it?
Yes, if they want it. So I mean, initially it was a lot of money, and now it's down to £200.
So it's a bargain.
Can't find anything wrong with it, really. There's always something wrong with everything you make, obviously, but actually, I quite like it. You wouldn't want to use it as a jug.
You might do.
Well, you might do, but what would you pour out of it? I mean, you might want it as a Pimm's jug.
That sounds like a very good idea.
But I wouldn't, because I drink water.
Okay, well, I think it's very lovely.
Good.
And people can come into the workshop now, can't they? And you're blowing glass again, so they can see you doing that.
Yeah, so we put the factory shop together all our seconds, so we're trying to clear our cupboards of pieces like this. Because sometimes, you know, I open the cupboard and take out something that, as you said, the reason you picked it up is it doesn't go with anything else that we now make. It's of a different era of my blowing. And so you just really want it to go.
And
that's my phone.
Oh, how to ruin an interview in one easy step.
That's Johnny, so just bear with me. Hello. So we go.
Okay, so I picked it up because it was really big. Is that your biggest piece currently?
No, sort of. I mean, as I'm getting older and more decrepit, making big pieces becomes less and less easy. And there was a time where, you know, where you tried to make the biggest thing you could make. And that doesn't float my boat anymore. I'd rather make smaller things better than be right on the edge of your ability. And then they're never quite as good because you're struggling with the weight and the glass itself. So it's easier to go down a scale and make sure you're in control of what you're doing. So
you're never going to make one of these again?
No. I've no desire to make anything in this design again, because this design was of then, it's not of now. And I mean, there are a few designs that I make that carried on for years, and I go and revisit the inspiration. So the obvious ones are random trails, where there's a set of rocks in the middle of the Elan Valley in Wales, which I go to every 2 or 3 years, and then I'll look at them. But this range came from Guatemala, and it was of that time, and I have no desire to remake it. You know, as you know, most of my inspiration now is from the landscape rather than from actual patterns. So no, I wouldn't go back and make anything like this. It was of then, not now. And that's part of handmade, I think. I don't think you should go back. But it's a nice piece. But if you don't like it, you don't like it. And if you don't like the colours, you don't like the colours. That's absolutely fine by me.
Okay, well, I like it. And hopefully everyone else will.
Well, no one has so far, so come and grab yourself.
Maybe that's because they didn't know it was there.
Well,
so we have to remind people.
And you never know what's going to come out of the boxes and come out of the cupboards. I always find it quite amusing looking on eBay and seeing what's for sale that I'm supposedly have made or not made. think it's really important to move on. I think it's really important to make new things, or else why bother? I can't see the point in trying to reproduce the things you used to do, because that, as a mindset, means that you go back to just trying to make it as good as it used to be, rather than try and make something new, trying to make something that is of the moment, spurs you on with new challenges. So that's much more important to me than trying to retain an old design. I mean, you know, even if we sold something really, really well, there are times when you just go, I've moved on now, I don't want to make it more.
And what's of the moment for you now?
I'm really into the landscapes at the moment, the coast ranges, the winters, the hedgerows, and I think COVID's changed things. I'm more inspired by the local things. So, you know, as you know, I go walking quite a lot with my mate, and we can sit for 20 minutes looking at a field. I mean, this year the colours in the fields have just been stunning. I mean, we spent 10 minutes last week looking at some reeds because they were very, very red. That's where my inspiration comes from now. It doesn't come from, I don't tend to go from patterns. You know, I tend to be looking more at nature and then translating it back into what I'm looking at, what I'm working on.
I look forward to seeing what you're making next then.
So am I. Who knows what it'll be.
Thanks.
Bye.